we got last 10 minutes or so of the show, and what we will be doing now in our podcast is we're going to do a throwback session in our show, where we kind of go back and we celebrate an individual, individuals that we kind of looked up to, I guess, growing up. And so, I'm just going to play a bit of a segment here, and I don't think you guys will need many guesses as to who we're talking about.
I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Yikes!
The one and only.
Mike Tyson.
And you know what? The reason why I think... okay, listen, Tommy D, before we go further, next week you get to choose the throwback, okay? Next time we do the podcast. But this time I wanted to choose Mike Tyson. And the reason I wanted to choose Mike Tyson is because I've been watching a lot... I don't know, I've just gotten into Mike Tyson again very recently. I've been watching a lot of some of the things that he's doing at the moment, some of the comedy stuff that he does. But then what made me... I wanted to go back and see some of his original fights. I had this vision growing up whenever I saw Tyson as, oh my gosh, like I've never had that experience watching any other fighter where I just thought that, anyone in front of this dude is out.
Yeah.
And,
it's bait. Bait for the tiger.
And whenever I watch his fights, especially, those earlier fights that he had when he was the youngest heavyweight, the combination of punches, the neck roll, the two body shots followed by an uppercut. I mean, the way he used to swing those arms and in the speed and the velocity and the power, I think, look, we can talk a lot about Tyson and where things might have gone wrong. And I think, I personally believe that if Tyson was managed well, if he had the right people around him at the time, I think he would have gone on to become an even better champion. And
a lot of bloodsuckers at the time, right?
Yeah, and I think he possibly wouldn't have lost some of the fights that he, some of the fights that he had. But saying that, I mean, he did have a lot of controversy as well. There was a lot of stuff.
Are you talking out of turn?
No, I think we're all talking together.
I normally don't do interview with women unless I fornicate with them. So you shouldn't talk anymore. Unless you wanna,
Yeah, I think there was a lot of drugs involved.
There was a lot of drugs involved. I mean, there was a lot of, I think there was a lot involved with Tyson, and I think the women in his life. I think the whole thing where he went to prison for for rape. I personally, this is my opinion, and I'm not telling people to kind of jump on my opinion or not, but I think he was definitely taken for a ride there. I think he was used. I don't think he did anything to that woman. And I think he served his time, came out, and I think since then I think he's been a broken man. I don't think he could ever really trust people again.
Yeah.
In the same way.
And he never like recaptured the fighting form again, did he? After that, in terms of he was so. I mean, when he got to the world, when he was the champion pre-prison, that's as good as you ever saw him. After that, he could never get back to that physical fighting shape.
Absolutely.
And then obviously he lost his manager, right, or whatever. And that's where Don King stepped in, right?
Absolutely.
And that's from then on in, every fight he fought, he knew that at the end of it, he's probably going to get done for money. So
for me, I mean, he had the first fight with Holyfield, which he lost, and he lost his heavyweight championship. He had won it against Frank. He won it when he came back out of prison. He beat Frank Bruno.
Yeah.
And he lost it to Holyfield the first time. And I think Holyfield, by the way, the first fight, if you ever watch it, I think it was a nasty fight that Holyfield fought, in the sense that he did butt him a couple of times. There was, and the thing is, we go down to the second fight where Tyson got the rematch again. Early on in the fight, Holyfield butts him, and it cut opens on Tyson. And the thing with Tyson was he was never really good once he was open, right? Yeah. He just couldn't see. And I just wanted to go back to that night, just to relive some of the atmosphere.
Major controversy here in round 3. A very angry Evander Holyfield now. A left hook.
It's funny, Mike was having his best round.
He did it again.
Yeah, man.
Mike Tyson has bitten Evander Holyfield for the second time, and it is all out war. saw that one. That was right clear. It's a miracle he didn't get bit back.
So, I mean, that going back there, I mean, that was
the beginning of the end, wasn't it?
the beginning of the end. I mean, when he went for that second bite, I mean, he had already bitten his ear out of frustration the first time, but you can't condone that. And then obviously he bites him again. And then this is where kind of, you know, after the fight, we kind of heard from Tyson kind of talking about what happened with the reason why he bit Holyfield as well. If I can.
I'm joined by Mike Tyson. Mike, first of all, let's go in chronological order. The headbutt in the second round, which opened the gash on your eye. Tell us about that first, please.
He butted me in the first round, but then he butted me again in the second round. Then as soon as he butted me, I watched him. He had me holding, and he looked right at me, and I saw him, and he was going for, and he kept going for mine, and he butted me again. He kept going down and coming up, and he charged into me. And no one warned him. No one took any points for him. What am I to do? This is my career. I can't continue getting butted like that. I got children to raise, and this guy keeps butting me, trying to cut me and get me stopped on cut. I got to retaliate.
Now, immediately you stopped. You stopped fighting immediately right there, and you turned to Mills Lane, and you said what? And the result was he did nothing. But what did you say to Mills right at that time?
I don't remember what I said. I told him that he butt me, but I know I complained about being butted, and we complained about the first fight. Listen, Holyfield's not the tough warrior everyone says he is. He got little nicks on him there, and he quit. I got one eye. I got one eye. He's not impaired. He got ears. I got one eye. Big day. If he take one, I got another one. I'm ready to fight. He didn't want to fight. I'm ready to fight him right now.
Mills Lane stopped the fight. It wasn't Holyfield who stopped the fight.
He didn't want to fight. He didn't want to fight.
We don't know what Mills did. Don't put nothing on Mills.
Well, Mills said he stopped the fight. You bit him. Was that a retaliation for the eye when you bit him in his ear?
Regardless of what I did, he butted me for 2 fights.
But you got to address it, Mike. Why
I
did you bite
address.
him?
No, I did address it. I addressed it in the ring.
Why did you do that, though, Mike? I mean, was that the proper response?
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I got to go home. My kids are going to be scared of me. Look at me, man.
What are you going to do now in terms of your career, Mike? Will you continue to fight? Okay.
So that was that. You know, I remember that like it was yesterday. You know, it was a bit of a historical moment in boxing. But at the same time,
watershed. Yeah.
At the same time, I do think that at his peak, I don't think there would have been any other boxer that would have been able to lay him out. I think, you know, 88, 89, 90, you know, I don't think there would have been a single fighter that you would have put in front of him. Had he trained, done all the things, had the right people, I think he would have gone on to be the best champion ever. But that was a little throwback to Mike Tyson.
But I'm glad he's doing well now. That's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah, he
seems to be on.
He seems to be happy. He's gone through a lot in his life. He lost his one of his daughters as well in a tragic freak accident at home.
Treadmill.
Yeah, absolutely. He's you know, he's had so many battles with drugs and addiction to cocaine.
People trying to take his money.
People trying to take his money. You know, in Hangover.
Yeah.
He was off his face in Hangover.
Yeah, no.
You know,
he fucking looks it. No offense to him.
But yeah, the one man show, you got to watch that. You know, directed by Spike Lee. It's Tyson doing comedy.
Oh, is it?
An hour and a half, man. And he's talking about his whole life events and the story. So if anyone hasn't seen that, it is a HBO special. I don't know. In the UK, I caught it a couple of times on Atlantic on Sky. But if you do get a chance, please get to watch that. It's a good show.
And God bless Big Mike.
Yeah, God bless Big Mike. And we'll be doing another throwback. I'll leave it to you, Tommy D, for the next one.
Yeah. I'll rustle some up.
But